My name's Kim. My daughter is Charlotte. She's 3 years old. And her diagnosis, I like to say, is under the umbrella of cerebral palsy. Charlotte, I had a normal pregnancy. Charlotte was born full term. There was no indication that anything was wrong, so to speak. And I had an emergency C-section because her heart rate dropped and she lost oxygen. So basically, she ended up spending 62 days in the NICU. Through everything, the most devastating diagnosis or medical explanation was when they told me that she had a severe brain bleed, and that basically, I remember them saying, like, it's worst case scenario, which was heartbreaking to hear. And they told me, you know, she's not going to walk, she won't talk, she's not going to go to school, she won't make friends, she won't be aware of the world around her, which when she was an infant, I knew that wasn't the case. I could see that she was interacting or whatever. But I was a first-time mom, so this was all brand new, and then being thrust into a role of also a caregiver and having to make these like extremely difficult medical decisions. So she's been in EI since she was an infant, and coming to the home, and a lot of that had to do with COVID in the beginning. And you know, it was fine for a while because, you know, she's an infant, so I don't know, but it came to a point where as she was getting older and I'm seeing her being more and more determined to do things and wanting to do them, and, you know, we sort of like skipped over important sort of like milestones, like sitting and crawling. I just felt like I wasn't being heard by her therapist through EI, and, you know, 30 minutes twice a week. And as, you know, sort of like the year went by and everything else, and she's sort of cruising, and I'm realizing, okay, well, we've hit a plateau in her therapy where we're just doing the same things over and over, and there's no like progression. But it's not because of Charlotte's inability, it's because she's not being given the tools to be able to do these things. And I don't know, you know, I don't know. And it's just like, I just need help, and she needs like a push, mostly because I could tell that she wanted to do it. Strength, for one, like, it's incredible. I mean, like, watching you know, the amount of pounds that she's able to move is one thing, but like seeing it at home in her daily activity, like, she's strong. Like, you know, she's really, and she's understanding her body more. Like, she's doing things like, you know, fully rolling over from back to stomach and pulling her hands out, which she's never done before. And she's like gaining such an awareness. It's given me hope, for sure. I've seen, you know, actual results, which are incredible. But it's gotten me excited for the future, like already thinking about the next intensive and like what, you know, how can we implement all of these things at home and just, you know, get her stronger. And yeah, I feel hopeful, and I see that. I mean, she's always been, you know, a gung-ho sort of girl, but like, I can tell, like, she's feeling good. Yeah. The community and like the welcoming like spirit of the place, which matters. Like it sort of feels like a second home in a way, where like it's like, oh, I'm excited to go and I'm excited to bring her, and I know that, you know, the therapists especially like really care about her and really like her, and like they see her. And just watching, you know, the other day, you know, Christine working with, you know, a client, and Danielle working with a client, you know, and just everyone, and then they're all sort of talking, and, you know, I'm talking to another mom. It's just like, you know, a great supportive environment. I love it. Just that it's fantastic. Like, I think maybe, I know my hesitation at first, especially with the intensive, was like, wow, you know, that Monday through Friday, like, that's a lot, you know, 3 hours, like, straight. How is she gonna do that? But really, I mean, she loves it. A few tears here and there, but really it's like, it's fantastic. Like, I just, I have no regrets. And I also love, it's not a one size fits all type of deal, which I appreciate. The therapy is catered to the child and catered specifically to, you know, the things that you want to work on. For one, do it. For two, I think I love that you can give you guys a try, right? So you're not just like, show up and do it. So we had our discovery session where we came and we spoke and, you know, sort of asked questions and got to see the facility, for one. And then two, she had like her eval. So again, we got to come and see how like the therapist interacted with Charlotte. First off, at the eval, was that Jenna spoke to Charlotte, not about Charlotte. And that is unfortunately hard to come by, where a lot of times it's, okay, mom, I'm gonna move her here. Okay, mom, I'm gonna do this. And it's like, but she's looking right at you. She's right in front of you. Address her. She's a person. And I mentioned to Jenna, I said, thank you for talking to her, because it, you know, it just made me so happy. And it's like, wow, so they actually treat them like people and not like a diagnosis, and not like, you know, some sad story. Like, it's just, yeah, that meant the world, actually. Breakthrough's awesome. I just think the motto and the overall feeling of it, like, you know, the intensive, the breakthrough, the pushing them, and yeah, it's just, I mean, I've only had the EI experience, which is just sort of get them through, just get them through. You know, and not thinking about, oh, you know, let's, I don't know, anything they want to do, thinking about the future, thinking about their functionality in the world, thinking about, you know, yeah, it's just a different kind of feel that's necessary. And I feel like more places, yes, and more people, more therapists should be like the therapist here.